All right then. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Thursday night's edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International and broadcasting from my home office. So welcome to all of you to my home office. This evening, we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to go over some information about our company, ZJ International, some of the realities of developing a home-based business, and what to look for if you're in that market space of looking to create some additional income without having to get another job. Maybe you're looking for some supplemental retirement income, or maybe you're looking for extra money for the family, for kids going to college. A number of different reasons why people would explore opportunities to create a second income stream. And then tonight, I'm very excited. I've got a special guest that's going to join us. A good friend of mine, Phil Jacobson from Alberta, Canada, an extremely seasoned network marketing professional, and he's going to share with you what he sees happening here in the upcoming several months with ZJ International. But let me go ahead and get started. A warm welcome to all of you, in particular our new distributors. Many of you, perhaps this is your first opportunity to be part of a Biz Talks presentation, so we're glad to have you with us. But this information tonight in particular is for those of you that are an invited guest. You know, a friend, maybe a coworker, a neighbor has been sharing with you a little bit about ZJ International. Maybe you've had a chance to be using our products and you've recognized the quality of our products and perhaps seeing a vehicle to be able to create that additional income. I can tell you that now 30 plus years in the home-based business arena, network marketing, relationship marketing, there's a lot of terms that we use. I have, since the mid 80s actually, I have never seen a time in that 30 plus years that people are more open today to look at alternative ways to take control of their future. See, when I was growing up back in the 50s and the 60s, the concept was, get as much education as you could, get a good job, do work hard, you'll be taken care of. The reality is that just doesn't work anymore. People recognize that you can't be dependent upon a job. There is no security in a job. You don't want to be dependent upon the government. The fact of the matter is that security of a job means one person controls 100% of your income potential and 100% of your free time. And so today what we want to do is share with you our company, ZJ International. And I'm going to share this in terms of the things that I looked at, because I had an opportunity many years ago to leave my previous career as a cross-country truck driver. I used to run 18-wheelers cross-country. I left that to get involved in network marketing because I was looking to provide for my son's future. And it was going to be necessary because of his unique situation and needs. It was going to be necessary for me to create a significantly above average income, but also to have time freedom, flexibility in my day-to-day schedule to be with him. And network marketing fulfilled on all those promises to the extent that within 10 years, I was able to retire. Literally 20 years sooner than most guys think about retiring, I'd already done that. And when it was time for me to look at ZJ International, I looked at these three things, and I share that with you because you may also want to consider these three issues when making a decision to engage in a home-based business with a company. First and foremost, I looked at the experience of the corporate team, specifically experience, track record, and integrity, because those things were going to be critical in my mind to this long-term success of the company. The owner of ZJ International is a gentleman by the name of Ken Brailsford. Now, you may not recognize Ken's name, but you already know who he is. Ken Brailsford is known as the father of encapsulation. He was the first person to put medicinal herbs into gel caps to make it easier for the average person to be able to consume the benefits of medicinal herbs on a daily basis. And today, every one of us, that has any kind of nutritional supplements, vitamins, whatever, uses gel caps. That's who is the owner of ZJ International. Ken has built two previous companies. His first one started in the 70s, early 70s, now in business over 40 years. billions of dollars in sales in that 40-year period of time, still in business today. His second company was started in the mid-'80s, now 30 years in business. Again, billions in sales. Combined, these two companies have been in business over 70 years. They do over $1 billion in sales annually today. Ken came out of retirement to start Zeech International because of our core product line, which is based on the Moringa oleifera tree. Now, when you have a fellow that has that level of success, that level of experience, from an integrity perspective, I think probably the singular thing that I can say that'll make a difference here, in this arena of network marketing, most companies come and go in 24 months. A long run is considered 5 years. Less than 1% of the companies in this industry ever last 10 years. Ken is always committed to the long term with his companies. Second thing I looked at was products. And see, when I first joined Zeech, we had one single product. It was our core Moringa drink. Our products are nutritionally based on the Moringa oleifera tree. You can do some research on Moringa. National Institutes of Health reported in 2008 the Moringa oleifera tree was the most nutrient-rich botanical they'd ever studied. You can go to the U.S. government's website with medical reports, PubMed.org. There are hundreds of Western medical studies that report on the incredible benefits of the consumption of the nutrients from this tree. The problem is it can't be synthesized. That's why the pharmaceutical industry has never done anything with Moringa. Today's Zeech International is the world's #1 grower, importer, and producer of Moringa oleifera products. Today, unlike when I first started a few years ago, we've expanded our product line to encompass virtually every field that is growing today in nutritional supplementation. Our core Moringa products, we have a healthy energy drink, the healthy alternative to the Red Bulls and the 5-hour energy drinks and what have you. We have a healthy weight management system that people have lost, 10, 20, 50, 100, in some cases several hundred pounds on, and been able to keep it off. We've expanded into sports nutrition. One of the fastest growing segments of the nutritional supplementation industry is sports nutrition. And we're the only company that's bringing natural products to the marketplace. We've expanded into personal care products, skincare products, and we have something that is unheard of in the market space, first to market to the public, clinical grade essential oils. When you put all of that together, we have a product line that meets universal needs, and probably more importantly, you don't have to convince people they need these products. Today, more so than any time in history, every single demographic is looking for alternative ways to provide health and wellness alternative to Western medicine, to doctors and surgery and medications and so on. And so when you combine the experience of the corporate team, add to that a line of products that meet universal needs that really work, their third ingredient that I looked at is timing. And see, that's why we're sharing this information with you tonight. Zeech International surpassed all but 1% of the companies in the network marketing profession because we've been in business now just over 10 years. We have a $1 billion infrastructure. We could produce over $1 billion in sales of our products today with the infrastructure we already have. And now we're ready to develop the distribution organization. And when you can find a company with that level of substance, stability, financially sound, large significant infrastructure, but you can get in before the masses, that's where the fortunes are made. And what I want to do right now is I want to bring over to this side of the presentation. Let me go and find him. Where did you go, Phil? Oh, there you are. I'm going to bring Phil Jacobson over to this side of the webinar. I've had the good fortune to know Phil now for, probably 20 years. Hey, Phil, how are you? I'm going to unmute you, my friend. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, it looks like 20 years, but going by the beard I got cooking here,
Yeah.
totally
Hey, listen, and it's coming in good. I saw the startings of it here. What is it already been a week since we were in Cincinnati?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but folks, Phil Jacobson, I've actually known Phil for probably over 20 years. Met him in a previous company that I was involved in, the company I actually retired from. Phil is a recognized seven-figure income earner from the network marketing industry. Is an extremely seasoned professional. But I asked Phil if he'd take a few minutes this evening and share a little bit about his story, because especially for those of you that maybe you're new to this kind of business, I want you to understand what kind of person, who's the person that can become a seven-figure earner, a black diamond in Zeech International. And so, Phil, again, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to spend a few minutes with us here on Biz Talks. Let's start like this, Phil, because I know you've been a professional in the industry for a long time. Tell me a little bit about what Phil Jacobson was doing before you were introduced to network marketing.
Well, certainly, Fred, thanks very much for having me on here. It's certainly a pleasure. It's great to be in your company. You're one of the guys that's trailblazing what we're doing here with the company. And so it's always a pleasure to be in the company of people that are just, well, you know, not taking any prisoners, really. So thanks very much for having me on here. I was really just like anybody else, had a regular job. I had born and raised in New Zealand. My family immigrated to Canada when I was a late teenager. And at that point in time, I was working in the trades as a carpenter. And it was a bit of a shock to go through my first Canadian winter. And I decided that I am going to do something else, but I didn't have any other training. And so after going through a number of different jobs, I found myself working as I guess a salesman. I'll say that in inverted commas, because I was really an order taker for a lighting company. And I spent a number of years there and got to the point of being completely frustrated. And I always used to, I can remember always feeling very, very bad on a Monday morning when I woke up that I didn't die on the weekend. I mean, it was just not an exciting workplace to go to. And so that's what I was doing. Just an average job. I'd gone through school, had an education,
and became a light bulb salesman.
And became a light bulb salesman. My wife was thrilled, to find a light bulb salesman to marry. But no, I'm certainly batting out of my or just above my pay grade, I guess I should say. Shelley's a delight. We've been married now for over 30 years.
Wow.
So it's amazing that how time flies by. But
by the way, that counts as 6 California marriages, just saying. So Phil, so like a lot of people, and I'm sure you're not the only person out there that's wondered, is this job all there is to life? If that's all, is that all I've got in me for the rest of my life? Tell me how you were introduced to network marketing.
Well, it was funny. I think it's a bit of a cliche, but everyone's had, I think, arrived at a place in their life where they're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I literally arrived at that point when I was about 30. And luckily for me, there was actually an ad in a newspaper. Now, that could lead into a whole different conversation, but I answered a newspaper ad, and there was a company that was expanding into Canada, and there was a luncheon presentation that was going on at a local hotel. And I just decided that, well, that's what I'm going to do. I attended the presentation, and I didn't really know anything about the industry at all. But the one thing that tweaked my interest, to be perfectly honest, I mean, they were talking, and you're familiar with the product. It was the same company, I guess, that you were working in. But I did get interested in that product primarily because it would make my coffee taste better, and I could get more orange juice out of filling up the cans of water under that frozen orange juice concentrate. And that was about the only thing I remembered about the entire presentation. But the one thing that did get me at the end was I had the good fortune to be introduced to the company by watching a video. They went through the entire presentation. I didn't remember any of it, but they put in a video, and basically it just showed other people that had normal everyday jobs. Some of them were university educated with professions, but there was a lot of people that I could relate to, and they all seemed like they were having a good time, and they were certainly making some money. So that was really the hook that got me to get started. And they also said that the fellow that was on the video was coming in the following month. and I would be able to meet him in person. And that was a big deal for me. And so that's how I got to meet Jeff. And that was the start of my network marketing career.
Now, because we met each other in that company, and actually the gentleman you mentioned was also my sponsor in that company, we got to work together. You certainly demonstrated one of the characteristics of success in our profession. You were extremely coachable. You learned the simple system that many people in network marketing have learned to create large distribution organizations. You became one of the company's top income earners with no previous experience in the industry. Now, fast forward, when you were introduced to Zija International, what was it about this company that made you recognize that, you know, this could be something different than, you know, the masses of companies that come and go?
That's a good question. And actually, it was funny. I was thinking about that this afternoon, interestingly enough. And one of the things that spoke to me, there's two things, but I had learned from somebody else named Dan Cato, a name that you would remember. Mm-hmm. And he said, Phil, if you want to do well in this industry, you've really got to build an army of eaters, was the way that he put it. And what he meant was, you've got to find a company with a really good consumable product. Mm-hmm. If you can build an organization with a consumable product, everyone is going to be reordering the product every month. Mm-hmm. And of course, when I was looking at Zija and started to realize what they had with Moringa oleifera, it was by far the closest thing you could get to a perfect source of nutrition. And the more research I did on the product, the more I got excited about it. I really didn't know anything about nutrition, to be perfectly honest. I knew that I wanted nutrition, but I really didn't know anything else about it. And so I think it was the one-stop shop idea that really got me. I thought, if I'm consuming this product, because it's the closest thing you can get to a perfect source of nutrition, my goodness, that's got to be a great place to start. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be interested in that. So that was really the thing that tweaked my interest when I was first getting introduced to Zija.
Now, everybody wants to know, you know, what did you do to get started? What did you do to get off to a fast start and build your Zija business? What did you do to get off to a fast start?
Well, you know, and here's where it comes down to, and maybe there's for someone who's interested in getting started with this, I did one of the things that's very unusual when we're getting started in business. I actually did exactly what I was told to do. And it's amazing to me how many people want to get involved with a business of their own, and when they're told exactly what to do, they go, okay, well, that's okay, but this is what I'm going to do. And then, you know, they go off and do something else. Thankfully, I didn't have the disadvantage of a college education, or I wasn't very smart. I just followed through and did exactly what I was told. And they said, Phil, the best way to start is make sure you've got enough product that you're going to be able to show a number of people. And at that point in time, we had something that is now called a diamond pack. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of reasons why I decided to go with that. First of all, I was told that was the best way to start. So I said, okay, well, I'll do that. But why is it the best way to start? Well, it does have enough product that if I'm getting going, one of the things that I loved about this product was the amount of stories that you could get back from people that were trying the product. I mean, it was it was exciting just to watch the people's eyes after they had tried the product. You could see the sparkle in their eyes. They knew that there was something good that was happening. So that was the reason why I started the way I did. The other thing that I realized was that if I was going out and getting lots of other people started in my business, because I was going to be looking for other business-minded people, they would probably follow along and do exactly the same thing that I did, and that would help me to establish my business quickly, which is exactly what I did. And in my first 30 days, I was able to really turn over all of the product that I had and get myself into profitability within my first 30 days, which obviously felt very, very good, because I think what most people consider is, well, what is this going to cost me when I get started in business? So I had already recouped my cost and gone into profitability in my first 30 days. And of course, that gets you feeling pretty excited. It's easy to share that with other people, and they started to do the same thing. So that's what I did.
Very good. And actually, that's part of our new distributor training, is to create your own story. I mean, reality is the success breeds success. You created that story, you learned how to do it, and you learned how to teach others. Now, fast forward, you're now one of our top income earners. You're a black diamond with the company, recognized 7-figure earner. I'm sharing that because Phil's kind of modest and he probably won't toot his own horn. In the couple of minutes we have left here, Phil, I'd like you to do one more thing for the people that are watching. We had an opportunity to meet with I think it was about a dozen of the top field leaders, the top distributors with the company. We met with the president of the company in Cincinnati here this past week, Friday, I believe it was. And we collaborated with the company on the rollout of Zija 2.0. You've been around quite a while with the company. You know, we've been in this stage of redefining the foundation of Zija. We've been able to grow to a $100 million a year company, but to then grow to a $500 million a year company, the next goals, we needed to recreate that platform. And so we had an opportunity to spend, you know, the entire day with corporate, you know, collaboration on putting together the next several months leading up to October, all of the components of the rollout of Zija 2.0. Now, I know because I was there and you were there, we are not allowed to talk about what's going to happen, so I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but maybe you can, if you can, in a few words, share with the folks your perception of what is going to happen over the next several months leading up to our October convention, and more importantly, the launch of Zija 2.0. What's that going to mean for the people that are getting involved with us today?
Well, it comes down to timing. That's something that everyone will hear, obviously. But we're living in a world of, let's face it, even what we're doing here is totally different from what we did 30 years ago. We're on social media. You're in California. I'm up in Canada. We've got the opportunity to expand around the world really at a moment's notice. And because of that, the pace of development technologically and everything else is speeding up. And along with that, we get a lot of different choices of how we can do things, how we can build the business and all the rest of it. One of the key strengths of this company is being able to define what is the best thing for us to do to keep it simple. Mm-hmm. And simplicity is the cornerstone of building a good, strong organization. And if you've got a lot of people building good, strong organizations, obviously the company is going to move a lot quicker forward. So really, without giving away all the details, obviously, but Zija 2.0 is basically just a way of really putting the opportunity that we've got on rails for the near future and beyond, so that people coming in can easily assess what we've got and then can get into this simple system using the tools that we've got, but being able to streamline it in such a way that it becomes very, very duplicatable. And of course, duplication is the key thing that makes the big numbers happen, mm-hmm. Both in organizational size and then, of course, in paychecks for people that are building it from a business standpoint.
Yeah, that is a beautiful analogy. Putting Zija on rails, so all the new person has to do is just move forward. Don't have to worry about, which direction. Follow where the tracks are going. Do the daily method of operation. The results will follow. Phil, appreciate you taking time to be with us this evening. You bring an incredible amount of experience and tenure in the industry to the table, and appreciate your words that you shared with the folks this evening. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure as always, Fred. Thanks very much.
All right, we'll let Phil go back to the other side. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last several minutes, we've talked a little bit about the company, the experience of the corporate team. I will tell you, there is no other company in the history of network marketing that has ever had the tenure and success track record as the leadership of Zija International. Only one man in network marketing has built two previous multi-decade, multi-billion-dollar companies, and that's Ken Brailsford, the owner of Zija International. Number two, nobody in the industry has the quality and the depth and breadth of product offerings that Zija International has. There are other companies who are trying to duplicate what we've done. However, they never will, because they will be unwilling to put in the foundational elements that Ken Brailsford has. spending the millions of dollars necessary to develop our own plantations so we can control our product literally from the ground up, creating our own pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facility so we can control every element of the development and delivery of our products. And then finally, there are very few companies in this profession that have ever achieved 10 years in sales, but certainly when you combine the infrastructure we have today, where we could produce over $1 billion in sales of our products, yet we're just a small fraction of that, that is where the incredible timing comes in. When you see people like Phil Jacobson, people that have such deep experience and awareness of the industry, and they're involved with this company, success leaves clues. And so in closing, I want to do two things. First of all, for those of you that are invited guests, get with the person that asked you to be part of this broadcast, or maybe they sent you to the replay link of the broadcast. Get your questions answered. You know, if you need to experience the product, get on the products. Frankly, the products is a zero-brainer. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. We've got a complete 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Use our products. You might want to become one of our customers. For those of you that are interested in getting involved as a distributor, here's what I can tell you. Every step along the way, you will be provided with the support and the training that's necessary for you to achieve whatever your goals are. For most people, getting an extra $200 or $300 a week of additional income coming into the home for the family could change everything, especially when you can do that around your life, around your full-time work. For others of you, you'll be looking for a full-time income, and for some of you, you'll be willing to take it as far as you can. Now, for those of you that are ready to get started, the person that asked you to be part of this broadcast can show you what you need to know to get started. And then one last item, Saturday morning, this coming Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern, we're going to be hosting a special new distributor training to show you exactly what you need to do to create income in a rapid fashion and do like Phil Jacobson did. Get into profitability in 30 days. And we will show you how to do that on Saturday morning. The person who invited you will get you the same broadcast link as this. And with that, I'm going to one last shout out to Phil for joining us this evening. Appreciate you, Phil, and everything you're doing for ZJ International. And with that, we're going to sign off for now. Look forward to seeing you Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Take care. Thanks for joining us.